The Coyote. The Coyote Twin, Vermilion's downtown theater. Providing entertainment Thursdays through Sundays.
Roommates aren't always a perfect fit.
Coming up, University Housing has plans to fix roommate disagreements.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
The time now is 5 o'clock. I'm Michael Stake.
And I'm Hannah Gokenauer. Data shows South Dakota is not retaining its graduates. But first, the body of Queen Elizabeth II lies in state today at Westminster Abbey. The Queen passed away last Thursday at the age of 96. She was the United Kingdom's monarch for 70 years, the longest serving in history. President Joe Biden ordered flags to fly at half-mast until her funeral on Monday. Elizabeth's son, King Charles III, is taking over her reign, serving by his side is Camilla, Queen Consort.
A 17-year-old human trafficking victim was sentenced to 5 years of probation. Piper Lewis was charged with involuntary manslaughter after stabbing her alleged rapist. She'll also have to pay $150,000 in restitution to the deceased man's family. A GoFundMe account has been started for Lewis, which has already raised over $200,000.
Nearly 300 teaching jobs in South Dakota were vacant at the start of the new school year. That's according to the Teacher Placement Center database. Student teachers are being asked to sub for classes in emergency cases when nobody else is available to take over.
I feel like one of the main reasons for having this teacher shortage is more from perspective of salary. The minimum wage salary does not help with the tutoring or teaching or entirely teaching profession.
USD's School of Education partners with over 40 school districts across South Dakota, Iowa, and Nebraska. The pandemic kicked off the largest drop in employed educators. The Bureau of Labor Statistics indicates the number of employees in public schools dropped from over 8 million in March 2020 to 7.3 million in May.
Major employers like Sanford and Avera hospitals are offering scholarship money as an incentive to help the South Dakota Board of Regents keep students in state. South Dakota News Watch reports that from 2015 to 2019, only 53% of about 35,000 South Dakota Public University graduates were working for in-state employers 1 year after graduation. That percentage increases to about 70% when narrowed to just South Dakota residents. The National Education Association ranks South Dakota at 50th in average for teachers for pay.
Students in university housing could have as many as 5 roommates, which may cause disagreements. Housing staff got more roommate mediation training this year than in the past years. Currently, dorms have little open space, making it more difficult for students to change rooms.
Our values is to help students become contributing members of society. So conversing is number one, and ultimately if we need to, we can go to the mediation, we can look at room changes or room swaps as well.
Room swaps are helping some students with the process of switching rooms. Housing meets with all roommates involved, making sure all are okay with the swap. Those having problems with their roommates can contact their RA or their hall's front desk.
Coming up, a UPD internship isn't just for writing tickets.
In a world where embracing your identity is a privilege not usually given to the members of the LGBTQIA+ community,
the University of South Dakota Spectrum provides community and education for young queer scholars.
sexuality and identity are defined on spectrums.
And having a community of open-minded, inclusive peers provides safety. Spectrum is one reason all Coyotes can call the University of South Dakota their home.
This is Coyote News.
If you have friends or family visiting for the week or weekend, you should know about the visitor parking passes. Visitor permits allow a person to park in all lots if they're not parking in designated visitor parking. You can get a visitor permit at the UPD office in the Davidson building. Although visitor permits are not valid at parking meters, reserved spaces, and handicap spaces, unless they have a handicap permit.
Student interns are working with the University Police Department to learn what it takes to be a police officer. These interns have the opportunity to work with the UPD officers and help to ensure the campus's safety. Senior and third-year UPD intern Molly McMahon says the interns have responsibilities when on the job.
We walk up the buildings every night, and then we also are responsible for parking enforcement, as well as helping officers whenever they need us. So sometimes that means doing walkthroughs in the dorms, sometimes it means helping them pick up signs from events and things like that.
The interns work about 20 hours a week, but have flexible schedules, so they're able to keep up with schoolwork. Current UPD intern Carol Wrench says the internship can lead to workforce opportunities after college.
The VCDC has a new president this month. Coyote News' Callie Connors is live in the Muck to learn more about what his role involves. Callie?
Thanks, Michael. I'm here with the new president of the VCDC, Jim Peterson. Jim, congratulations on your new position.
Thank you.
How has the transition been going from being the president of Masaba Inc., a manufacturing company here, to now being the president of the VCDC?
I think it's going well. Have a great team at both Masaba and great team at VCDC. A lot of similarities. One is we do a service at VCDC, so you still need the right culture, which is the people, and then just have a service.
Can you explain what the VCDC is exactly for those who may not know?
Sure. VCDC stands for Vermilion Chamber and Development Company. The chamber really is your voice of business, so we focus on our members or businesses, tourism, economic development. We also own some land, that's why we're called the development company.
Is there anything you hope to accomplish while you are in this position?
The first 90, 100 days we're just going to be talking to the members, and then we want to ensure that we can do business retention, expansion, and meet the needs of the members and have some fun events for the community.
Mr. Peterson, thank you for being here today.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. I nodded my head too much.
Live in the Muck for Coyote News, I'm Callie Connors.
So you can edit that
Thanks,
out.
Callie. The VCDC is hosting a public safety center forum tomorrow at City Hall.
Next on Coyote Sports, the volleyball team's 8-1 going into weekend's matches.
And the tennis team serves up a new season.
This is Coyote News.
This is Coyote Sports. I'm Keely Thomas.
And I'm Landon DeBoer. The new cross-country coach leads the team into their third week of the season. But first, head coach Bob Nielsen is now calling plays for the Coyote offense. Nielsen says he'll be taking over this duty for quarterback and offensive coordinator Ted Schlafke. Schlafke is still a member of the staff at this time, and Nielsen has not indicated how long he'll keep the role.
Nielsen will call the plays this weekend as the football team hosts its first game of the season against Cal Poly, and they'll try for their first win of the year after losing to the Montana Grizzlies in the second game of the season. In the first half, it was all Grizzlies, jumping out to a 13-0 lead after scoring touchdowns on their first 2 drives. It wouldn't be until the fourth quarter when the Coyotes would score their first points of the season with a 25-yard touchdown from Travis Tice. It would be too little too late as the safety by the Montana defense would end the game by the score of 24-7. Quarterback Carson Camp finished with a 50% completion rate and 119 yards. Montana quarterback Lucas Johnson was a part of his team's 3 touchdowns and gained over 250 yards in the game.
The Coyote volleyball team will play their last 3 non-conference games of the season in Tampa Bay this weekend against Stetson, Cornell, and South Florida, where they'll try to follow up their 3 wins at last weekend's South Dakota Classic. In Game 1 of the Classic, the Coyotes defeated Cal State Bakersfield in 3 sets on the back of Elizabeth Junkie's 19 kills and 10 digs. To follow up their earlier win, USD claimed Game 2 of the weekend with a 4-set victory over West Virginia, where Madison Harms hit 57% with 13 kills and 7 blocks. In Game 3, the Coyotes would face the Northern Colorado Bears at the Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls. In Set 1, Madison Harms' defensive skills were on display for the Coyotes with a nice block which would help lead to a 25-21 first set victory. However, the Bears were able to claim Sets 2 and 3 after fending off a late Coyote run in the third with a strong kill from Rachel Hickman. A quick turnaround by the Coyotes was capped off by an ace to end the fourth, and the Coyote faithful approved. Now, we check back late in the 5th with a kill attempt here by Junkie that was saved by the Bears to no avail, as Harms was able to put down the game-winning block. The 3 wins move the Coyotes to 8-1 on the season, which are a part of the team's 8-game win streak. While the Coyote teams are beginning their seasons, the intramural season is also kicking off. Coyote News' Sydney Funderman is live in the Muck to tell us a little bit about how the start of Intramurals is going. Sydney?
Thanks, Landon. I'm here live in the Muck with Connor Singheisen, who is the Assistant Director for Intramurals and Sports Club and the Director for eSports. Volleyball and football intramurals have just begun, but what other sports are going on right now as well?
So we have a sand volleyball league that runs Fridays at the North Complex sand volleyball court. We have outdoor soccer, we have flag football, and we have our co-rec volleyball league going on currently. We just had our Rocket League eSport intramural event a couple weeks ago. Coming up next week, we've got our Smash Bros. Smackdown, which is Super Smash Ultimate Singles single elimination tournament over at the eSports Arena. Coming up next week, we've got the 4-person golf scramble as well out at the Bluffs Golf Course, which we're really excited about. We've got 9 teams for it in our second year. We're looking forward to expand that, and hopefully that grows.
And if students want to partake in these sports, when do you say they should sign up so that way they're guaranteed a spot?
So the best thing is to sign up early. We have deadlines that we typically start marketing for about 2 weeks out at the event. Our next round of leagues will start up in October, but we also have a ton of intramural leagues that run throughout the course of the year. Some one-day events, like our tennis singles just kicked off today. We've got racquetball singles coming up. But all of our stuff can be found on any of our social media accounts at USC Intramurals or on the IMLeagues.com website.
Okay, there's also a faculty and staff pickleball league that's going on this year. Is there any more information you can give on that?
Yeah, so that registration for that actually ended last week. We're really excited for that to go. Not a ton of teams right now, but we're hoping that continues to grow as we continue to offer different opportunities geared towards faculty staff.
And are there other ways that students can be involved with the intramurals besides just participating in a sport?
Absolutely. So you can come watch any of our events that we have going on. You can help officiate, which is one of our student employment jobs on campus. We have about a staff of 30 different officials that officiate all of our sports. They go through staff trainings. We try to make sure we can prepare them the best we can. And we also have sport clubs. So if you're looking for something a little bit more competitive than showing up, lacing up your shoes 5 minutes to game time and playing, we've got women's rugby, which actually has their first home game this weekend against the Prairie State's select team. We've got a soccer club, we've got ultimate frisbee, we've got trap shooting, and a club baseball team as well.
Thank you so much for your time, Connor.
Absolutely. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks. Live in the Muck for Coyote Sports, I'm Sydney Funderman.
Thanks, Sydney. As Singhisen mentioned, there are still some fall tournaments students can register for on the IM Leagues app.
The cross-country team is headed to Indiana University for the Coaching Tree Invitational. It's a schedule change the new head coach, Nolan Fife, announced earlier this season. Fife was hired last month, coming to USD after assistant coaching at the University of Illinois for 6 seasons. He says his past experiences prepared him for his new role.
Really fortunate to work for and with a lot of great people in the sport that have helped shape me into the coach that I am right now, and always looking to continue to grow in the sport, and I feel like I'm surrounded by great other coaches here on our staff.
Fife says his goal for the program is to provide a positive experience for the student athletes. The cross-country team will race against Northern Arizona, North Carolina, Indiana, and more at the Invitational.
The tennis team will compete this weekend at the Gopher Invite in Minneapolis as they try to follow up their strong performance at the Drake Fall Invite in Des Moines. In last weekend's tournament, the Coyotes put together a 29-6 record in all matches, going 21-4 in singles and 8-2 in doubles. The Coyotes claimed 5 of the 7 total flights contested at the Invite, with newcomers Paige Alter and Anna Medvedeva going undefeated in their debuts.
The Coyote soccer team will have to wait until September 24th to kick off their conference schedule against the in-state rival SDSU after playing their final non-conference game against Iowa State Cyclones on Sunday. In their matchup against the Big 12 opponent, USD was able to hold the Cyclones scoreless in a game, but was unable to put up any scores of their own the afternoon, ending the game in a tie. Coyote goalkeeper Caroline Garcia faced 22 total shots and made 6 saves during the game, a season high. And the Coyotes put 3 of their 4 shots on net, making the Cyclone goaltender make 3 saves on the day. That's it for Coyote Sports.
When we return, see what activities students want to be a sport. Stay with us.
Hey, do you want to answer a quick question for Coyote News?
Huh? What's the question?
It's about roommates. It'll only take a second.
I don't know.
Come on. All you have to do is talk to me. What's the weirdest thing that you found your roommate doing?
One time I came home from class and she was clipping her toenails on my bed. That was weird and gross.
Hey, look, it's you.
That was weird and gross.
No way.
This is Coyote News.
Not all sports have to be athletic.
That's right. Some may require more mental strength than physical.
Here are some things students wish could be a sport.
I would pick trying to find a parking spot on the USC campus.
I would probably make eating a sport because I think everyone loves to eat. I think eating is needed in the body. Eat.
I'd probably pick shopping to be a sport because you already work up a sweat and it takes a lot of skill to find the good deals and stuff like that.
Who can make the most people smile? I'll do that one, yeah.
Trash can basketball in the classroom. You get bonus points, extra credit if you make it from like a certain distance, whatever.
I think I would make sleeping a sport just because I love being myself. Sleeping is nice.
Who could hold their breath the longest? There we go.
Debating, because it takes just as much energy and effort as like some sports.
Mario Kart racing, because I'm good at it.
I would probably have to go with drinking Gatorade. You know, it's always good to stay hydrated.
Speaking of sports, Coyotes football is home this weekend, which means game day traditions. Michael, what's your favorite game day tradition?
I think my favorite is trying not to laugh too much at my stepdad, who gets a little too into some sport games.
Adding to traditions is Coyote Alley. It's a tailgating spot located on the grass lot by the tennis courts. The alley will have food trucks, entertainment, and yard games. We asked our Twitter followers what their game day traditions were.
More of our followers chose tailgating. What is your tradition?
I would have to go with tailgating. I'd have to strongly agree with tailgating.
Follow our Twitter page at USD Coyote News to take part in next week's poll. Winter, South Dakota has recently made headlines for being mentioned in a list on a travel blog, A Lot of Travel. Contrary to its name, the town of 2,800 just made it on the website, Ugliest Cities in Each State list. On the other hand, in February, the website Know Your State named Winter the friendliest town in South Dakota. That's all for Coyote News.
Pick up this week's issue of the Volant for a student's perspective of the overturning of Roe versus Wade.
Listen to 91.1 FM for news updates throughout the week and for coverage of your USD sports.
Don't forget to follow our social media pages for our daily news updates and the weekly poll. Have a great night.